Looks like Putin is trying to claim that the plane that was struck down was a terrorist attack by Ukraine. Why would they kill their own people when they were about to do a prisoner exchange? It doesn't make much sense, but maybe they did it to try to make Russia look bad, or Putin did it because he's spiteful and a dictator and is trying to kill as many Ukrainians as possible.
It's hard to tell much from the plane's final moments. A large shape hurtling towards the earth and a massive fireball. The plume of smoke at the end of this video, the result presumably of some secondary explosion as the plane was in its final seconds.
The engine was burning. It suddenly began to move down. It fell here behind the forest. Here is my house. It exploded behind the house, behind the forest. There was a very strong explosion.
Russia says there were 65 Ukrainian servicemen on board, prisoners of war due for exchange, en route to the Russian city of Belgorod and the nearby border crossing, which is the only entry point for Ukrainian citizens from Russia into Ukrainian-controlled territory. With them, Russia says, 6 crew and 3 Russian servicemen, presumably keeping guard, though from the initial crash site video, there's little evidence of these alleged casualties.
The Ukrainian leadership knew very well that according to established practice, today Ukrainian military personnel would be transported by military transport aircraft to the Belgorod airfield for exchange. According to the previously reached agreement, this event was to take place in the afternoon at the Kolotivok checkpoint on the Russian-Ukrainian border. And, nevertheless, the Nazi Kiev regime took this step pursuing the goal of blaming Russia for eliminating Ukrainian servicemen.
Well, that's hilarious. Called it a Nazi regime when you have tons of Nazis in Russia that supports Putin, yet he does nothing about those people.
Carrying out that terrorist attack, the Ukrainian leadership showed its true colours. It paid no regard for the lives of its own citizens.
Exactly 3 weeks ago, there was another major prisoner exchange.
Well, talking about Ukraine not caring about the lives of their own citizens, that's Putin in Russia. Putin cares not a thing about any of the Russians. All he's doing is sending Russians into Ukraine wave after wave. And if people die, he doesn't care. If they have shoddy weapons, he doesn't care. If they have no food, he doesn't care. That's why so many Russians are dying. That's why he kills so many Russians himself if they try to oppose him, because he doesn't care about Russian lives. He's a dictator. All he cares about is himself.
The largest of this war so far. 248 Russians transported via similar Ilyushina transport planes from Belgorod to Moscow. 230 Ukrainians returned home too, and a deal mediated by the United Arab Emirates. Ukrainian military intelligence say they weren't told to secure airspace around Belgorod ahead of this Wednesday's prisoner exchange, and suggest then that this was planned by Russia to destabilize and discredit the Ukrainian state. Not confirming they shot the plane down, but not really denying it either. Since Christmas, missile and drone attacks from the Ukrainian side have picked up in and around Belgorod, with 25 Russian civilians killed in the city centre just before